If you're going to use the word bad and good,
Yep.
or better and worse, or anything, make any value judgment about anything, it will, implicit in those judgments will be an acknowledgement, whether you're going to acknowledge it or not when I put the question to you, that the worst possible misery for everyone is bad. You can't use the word bad unless you're going to acknowledge that.
I'm not disagreeing in the least about that.
Okay,
not a bit.
so it's built into your good and bad with respect to every other situation in life.
Fine, I agree.
Like, if you're going home tomorrow and a bus drives by and cuts your hand off, and you say, well, that was bad. It only makes sense with reference to this underlying claim. Well, it would be worse if the other hand got cut off too, and everyone's hands got cut off.
You're beating a dead horse here, man. I agree with you.
So I'm saying that everyone assumes this, whether they claim to or not.
Okay.
So to say, and this is how I bring G.E. Moore's argument to end.
Yeah, right.
He says his argument depends on it being intelligible at that point to say, well, is that really bad? Is it really bad? Okay, well, what would really bad be if the worst possible misery for everyone didn't get you there, right? There's no other space to occupy.
I'm also not disputing the utility of your move to bring G.E. Moore's infinite regress to an end. I'm disputing something very specific. I'm disputing the issue that that's a factual claim. That's all. Well, hell is bad. We should avoid it. It brings Moore's infinite regress to an end. All of that, I agree.
It's deeper than a factual claim. It's just a claim about it's a claim that is required to make any value judgment intelligible.
Right, any value judgment.
So
yes.
So it's like it's not an arithmetical claim. So an arithmetical claim about addition in this case is.
Now you're making my point for me.
You could say the same thing. You could say, when I say 2 + 2 makes 4, you could say, but is that a factual claim? And there's some way of jiggering the way you talk about facts with respect to mathematics, where I could say, well, it's not a factual claim, but it's an arithmetical claim. It's a mathematical claim.
Well, right? I'm also not trying to.
I just don't see a need to balkanize our claims in this way.
Yep, fine. What I'm trying to do what I'm really trying to do. We need, the problem I have with your argument, and this isn't, I don't mean that you're wrong. I see what you're doing, and I see why you're doing it, and it's, as far as I can tell, it's laudable. But the problem is that, as far as I can tell, there's problems it doesn't solve, and there's other problems it leaves unaddressed that don't have to be unsolved or unaddressed. And one of the problems is this problem of the intermediary interpretive structure. And you already said we need intuitions to guide our interrelationship with facts. Okay, so we've already agreed on that. So the question is, what are the nature of these intuitions? And I'm saying some of those intuitions take the place of stories, take the form of stories, but even more than that. So I'm going to go after the hell thing again, okay? Because you said, well, it's bad, and you made sure that I also agreed with that, which I do. I agree with that. And then it's a point of profound agreement between you and I. Like, I've spent my entire life trying to understand why people did the worst things they could possibly imagine in the service of their dogmatic beliefs. And so I think that that's not good, seriously. And I'm no fan of moral relativism. So we're on the same page there. Now, but what I noticed when you wrote The Moral Landscape is you tell it, and I'm not trying to trap you. You tell a story about. It looks to me like it's a story about heaven versus hell, essentially. Let me use that language momentarily. But it's also a story about good versus evil. And this is why. It's because the question is, what's bad about hell? Now, you say the suffering. It's like, fair enough, man. True enough, but not true enough. So in Dante's vision...
What's also bad about hell? In addition to the suffering.
The actions that put you there, the malevolence that generates it.
Okay, but that's part of the suffering. So
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not the same as the suffering. It's not the having your hand cut off. It's the pleasure that's derived by the person who cut it off. And that is a different thing.
That's more, so